Ruler School is brought to you by Odyssey Games, where you can go to pre-order upcoming Force of Will sets, ccgprime.com for singles and supplies, cardodoko.com for those rulers in the international market looking for product, the Ruler School Circuit Series now taking orders on our Quarter 3 2024 circuit kits, and our guest lecturer members, Fight Ramen. Class is in session. Hey there, rulers. Welcome back after a long month of Force of Will to your favorite ever live Force of Will podcast. It's Office Hours, and it's my birthday month, featuring myself, DMO73, and I'm joined, as always, by Paul Reisman.
The slightly younger old man.
And back from his trip, Mike Rance.
I turned 30 in a little over a week.
Hooray! August.
The youngest.
August. Anywho, so we're here to talk about a lot of cool stuff, a lot of spoilers. We got stuff for Goliath we got to finish out. So we saw some stuff for Alex Sansta, including the absolute bait and switch that they pulled on us with Alex before the video dropped. And we got a lot of stuff for Misung. And we also got some great spoilers from over in the crew in China. They got their exclusive spoilers. We'll talk about those today as well. And thanks to France, we get to finally talk about the pre-release kit promo card Scarab, because we finally seen what that does in France, which means I can actually talk about it. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. As always, you can go check out the link in the description below to get your pre-orders in for next set. Odyssey Games still has pre-orders available for next set, so you're definitely not going to want to miss it. This set is shaping up to be quite awesome, both for tags, solo rulers. We've seen some support for some previous stuff. There's some cool generic splashable cards that we're seeing. A lot of cool stuff. Definitely worth picking it up. So with that, let's jump into it. We have the other mech, Hanada Corp's Interceptor Sarah, 3-drop, 5/5 precision, mythic precision flying pierce. The card gains +2/+2 for each magic stone card in all graveyards. This card gains the following abilities in all zones as long as you have Demolish, Inheritance of pay a green to draw a card, or Call of the Monarchs for pay 1 red to be able to reanimate it. And on enter, you may banish a magic stone. If you do, draw a card. I honestly like this character better than the other one, because I also think that she has the most flexibility outside of Goliath. I open the floor to the two of you at that point.
Oh, nice. Okay. I've got like zero thoughts about like anything outside of the first of all, Inheritance green to draw a card.
Sure.
Kind of nice. But also, the little Timmy in my brain is just like banging at the cage, like rattling the cage, saying like, put this in the Cruz Ballesta thing that sacks all your stones off and gets a bunch more resonance triggers, and also this thing gets huge. Timmy in my brain is saying that right now, and I don't think anybody in chat should be listening to the Timmy rattling the cage in my brain right now.
Sure.
But if you do that, and you do put a bunch of stones in your grave, and then suddenly this is the biggest thing in the world, it's still probably bad.
So the thing is for me is that she's a Hanada, which means that she shares a race with Yokoshima as well. And we know that the extension rule works with Yokoshima as well. And Yokoshima gets breaking the chains, which is a stone destruction style. And there's been this question of Yokoshima's stone destruction engine of like, well, what are we using it for? Like, sure, we're blowing up stones, but like, and it just like doesn't do anything beyond that. It's like I had a hard time killing people, which is why we saw it pivot to like time bomb burn or things like that. This we can give Yokoshima destroy using the extension rule or demolish, and then suddenly the stone destruction engine has a efficient, cheap body that can kill things. So like, because it pops your own stones, because again, breaking the chains pops your own stones and your opponent's stones. So like, this to me would naturally also slot into a cool takeaway idea for Yokoshima. That's why I'm excited about it.
I agree with every word you just said,
Perfect.
especially the
Thank
part
you.
where I had to go back and read the extension rule to remember exactly why you need the amount of Hanada names you need.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part of this whole thing that I just did right here. It was great.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, this card didn't tickle me that much. But I do think it's interesting to see that we finally got the other piece where it's like, hey, this card is actually going to be useful for making her counterpart useful. Because before this card was revealed, Ibuki didn't seem very good. But there's clearly some like, okay, now we have some things we can do.
We do have one more mech
Not-
still left to
yeah.
see, though, which is interesting. So I'm curious to see what
Oh, we
that...
do.
Yeah, we saw it on the playmat art for the pre-release mat. It's Sarah, Ibuki, and then something else. And so it's like, well, what is that something else? I don't know.
last one is Steve the automaton.
Perfect.
Bob.
Listen, they've come up with
Bob
dumber
the
names. Bob, do something.
There it is.
Billy the robot.
There it is.
Adam Automaton.
The last Goliath card we have was the Working Crew. 7 cost, 2 green and 5, 11. Pay 1 less to play this card for each different Magic Stone type among entities you control. So again, diversity things. This card gets the following abilities as long as you have Build or Demolish. Build, tap, put up to 3 target non-Magic Stone cards from your graveyard into your hand. Just like that seems insanely good. Or tap, destroy up to 2 target non-Magic Stone, non-Jade Ruler entities your opponent controls. And on enter, search your deck for a card with Sarah or Ibuki in its name and put it into the field. Then shuffle your deck. This seems kind of really good. I don't know.
If you can like actually get it out, like that's the big thing. Like obviously, like there's gonna be support that lets you have different Magic Stone types among entities you control, but like you have to do a lot to actually make that happen in like a meaningful and like impactful way.
This to me feels like this would be the card that you get added to again, like that Demolish Yokoshima build, right? Where like you're trying to pop stones, but it is among stones you control. So then it's like, is this more of a diversity Gruus Ballesta's tech institute?
And also you're not playing this in Demolish because the build effect is way stronger than Demolish effect, in my opinion.
That's fair. The build effect is way bullish. Remember when we used to pay 5 to be able to buy back 3 cards? What if we just paid 2 and then could buy back 3 cards every turn? That seems pretty
Freya,
good.
my love. You hit me where it hurts, Jeremy.
She cost me.
Remember, Freya, this is her now field yet.
She cost me a GP. I was excited about that.
Oh, you know something really funny? Speaking of Freya, you can just get multiple different copies of Working Crew, tap it, get a Working Crew back, play the Working Crew, kill that Working Crew, tap, play the Working Crew. If you can find a way to give them swiftness and like actually like cheat something in, this could combo off with itself. It's not going to happen, but you can do it.
It's neat. It's a normal.
I will say, I do want to say, Robert Green in chat, the fact that they do have the words build and have a bunch of automatons makes me really upset that they don't literally have like a Voltron style payoff, and instead they just have like, just kind of like a bunch of robots and things that just say no.
Yeah, Joe brings up an interesting point. We talked about this before in the artwork, that Hammer Gears is just kind of there. It's like, wait a minute, I thought we had gotten rid of the gears. Why is Hammer Gears here?
He's just doing his best, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Not the only reference either.
Yeah. See some...
Is there a world where you like reanimate this thing somehow?
I mean,
yes,
certainly seems reanimatable.
I don't think.
Like, do you build a deck around this thing to reanimate? I don't know.
Maybe not.
It seems.
I can't imagine. If there's a way to like, if there's like specific human synergies with it, maybe. But I'm pretty sure we don't have anything remotely close to that, unless we have like a ruler 5 sets down the line, which says,
Well, the other
you
big
know,
thing there, the only big like
of
issue there is the
human.
fact that like there's no way for this card under Hanada or Goliath, Yokoshima or Goliath. There's no way for this card to come in and immediately be used because the
Yeah.
extension rule makes swiftness everywhere belligerence. So even if you could give something swiftness, it would just get belligerence, and so it wouldn't be able to use the tap ability. So like I don't know if it's worth trying to reanimate it as opposed to just going in on stone destruction or stone diversity and then just trying to jam this as like a 2 of to help play to the late game kind of a thing.
So we have Bug that will fetch you things.
Got bug.
Stumblebug.
That's all I got. That's all I got.
I love Stumblebug. Stumblebug's great.
Yeah, I don't really see like this card seems like really good, obviously, but like a lot has to go right to make it like
It is only in the normal
actually
slot.
do
It's one
something.
of those normals where like you could find a home for it. Like I think it could find a home, right?
I will say the fact that this is a normal and has this exact text means that this is a baller draft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Card is a very draftable card.
That's
Sure.
scary.
Next up,
There's a world where I think you play the Shooting Star of Wind Killua
oh sure,
and jam this card in it, but
maybe.
not a good deck. Not
Yeah,
a good
that's
deck.
true.
We can move on.
Next up, we got a few cards. We're still waiting on a lot because we haven't seen her like actual spoiler like suite. But we got a few cards for Alex Sansta, and so we're gonna talk about her first. Alex Sansta, beginning of the game trigger, you gain 1,000 life. Tap target non-token resonator you control gains protect until end of game, which this flavor text clarifies that something with protect can stop something with flying, because it's not an activate ability.
Yeah, it becomes the attacked object.
It becomes the attacked object. So anything with protect can stop a flyer because it redirects the
literal
attack.
taunt.
Yeah, which is kind of dope. And then on solo mode, non-token resonators you control gain protect until the end of game as they enter the field. So just everything you control gains protect. And then judgments for blue and black. Just sack an entity you control named green jade amulet of face up below this card. Like Cthulhu names. And if you didn't catch, we didn't see when Alex was spoiled herself, we didn't see her J ruler side. That's because they did an excellent, in my opinion, flavorful media rollout for Alex, letting the story of how she kind of gets sucked into doing whatever it takes to save her people while they're in the ruins and finds this amulet. And in the video talking about her, they show that she gets corrupted and turns into Throm, the Hound of Eternity. So she finds this cursed relic instead of like the things that she's looking for. So this is a Cthulhu. It's a magical beast, Moon Princess, 1822, limit 5, which is whenever card is attacked or blocks, you have to remove a limit counter from it. Bloodlust, Pierce, and Bane. Your opponent has to attack it if able. There are no limit counters on this card. You lose the game. This card can attack up to 2 times during your main phase. Whenever damage is dealt to this card, you remove a limit counter from it, meaning that burn decks can also try to, burn deck, spot removal decks, anything that can deal damage can still also try to get these tokens off of this thing. And then whenever this card attacks, recover it, search your deck for a card with Throm in its name, and put it into the field. Then shuffle your deck. This entity or this ability only triggers once per turn. So, yeah, you get to swing twice. It lets itself swing twice, and every time it swings, it's going to get some value and lose limit counters. Bastet was recently shown off to be a promo. Makes a little bit more sense now since she's limit counter support. I imagine we'll also get other things that like add more limit counters to this, but who dang is this thing a freaking terrifying looking beast?
It's spoopy looking. It's got that feel, and I think I'm gonna put something out here that's gonna make everybody, including myself, angry right now. This is the coolest looking card, and it's Cthulhu support, and I love Cthulhu support. This is unplayable, and you want to make Alex Shasta just a singleton
Why?
frontside ruler because that
Explain.
protect effect is five. That protect effect is 5 billion times better for win condition than this card is.
I don't think so. I think that if you're playing, I think that the protect effect is pretty decent if you're playing to like a tag, but I think solo mode Sansta is absolutely a win con.
No. I mean like the solo mode non-token resonators gain protect until end of game.
How is that a win
field.
con?
I feel like that's it. You draw into your win con. You just have if you have a bunch of quick cast resonators, they pop in.
Yeah,
protects,
with the hate
like,
that's coming out for quick cast resonators in the form of like the Hanada like extension
this
rule
assumes
and everything else.
Hanada is good.
Listen, dude, we're already in a format where diversity is continuing to show itself, and we're about to get a bunch of rulers that have not only solo mode but also dope tag modes and new extension rules. And you think that Hanada's just not gonna see play at all? I'd rather not rely on a deck that says, "Oh, my opponent revealed Hanada and has an extension rule. Guess I'll die." Like, I would rather not.
Yeah, I agree with that part. I will say you could probably just one of the amulet for that Hanada matchup and find it at some point. That'd be an interesting way to play this deck. Because the thing with Thuram, obviously, like this also goes into the whole Hanada conversation about swiftness becomes belligerence, yada yada, whatever. This thing should have had swiftness, man. I don't know.
No. Absolutely not.
I don't know.
A judgment cost of 2 to put a 18-22 plus whatever abilities it's gonna get from the stupid green jade
And
amulet
whatever the
that will be able to
amulet
swing twice.
costs.
And yeah, like no.
Have we seen what the jade amulet does yet?
We've seen the art, not what it does. Although there is some speculation, based on a comment that was made, in the Discord server that I believe Alejandro was the one who said it. Someone posted, "Well, good, you just sideboard all your last days of a secret powerless Dragonoid to kill her immediately." And I think it was Alejandro who said, 99% sure that won't be an actual strategy against her. And so I imagine that there's something regarding the amulet that will keep her safe from losing those counters in like a stupid way.
Yeah.
But
the amulet will change my mind about this card a lot because I do think limit 5 and the lose the game trigger on it both scare me.
It's not a lose the game trigger, by the way. It's a continuous stat. It's a continuous game state check that says if there are no limit counters on this, you lose the game. Yeah. The second the last counter goes away, you die. Yeah.
Which is again even scarier, by the way.
Yeah. You're just like, oh, whoops. There are Cthulhu's that give swiftness, right? There's plenty of ways to give things swiftness.
There aren't.
Yeah.
Big quotes. Aren't.
Paul, what do you think on our good girl turned Cthulhu?
I am wanting to see more support.
Sure.
Because as of right now, I can think of a lot of strategies that are just like, I'm going to just ping this thing until it doesn't have limit counters anymore. And then that's it. So I need some sort of like limit counter refill or something to that degree to feel a little bit more confident.
Sure.
So I'm not off the train because I haven't seen all the things yet.
Yeah. That's valid.
It's cool to see limit counters back.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So my interest is peaked. Probably not my like first ruler I would go to in this set, but interesting. Interesting for me.
We did see 3 other Alex Sansta cards, so we'll talk about those real quick. Just gonna make sure I got them. First off, we saw the Lunar Energy Defender, 2-cost Golem, Magic Lifeform Moon Technology, Magic Lifeform J/Resonators you control gain +2/+2, which by the way will support Thrum, because it's a magic life form. This card gains +400 defense, drain, and barrier, and this card cannot attack as long as it has protect. I don't know why it has. And then if it's solo mode, you pay 1 void less to play this card if you control a Moon Princess J/Ruler, white or moon. This card gains protect. If this card has protect, recover it. So this card naturally becomes at base. If it has a If you're playing a Sansta solo mode, this card becomes a 1-cost 2/10. 1-cost 2/10 with Drain, Barrier, and Protect. That can recover itself.
Defending.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Really continuing the golden trend of just this thing never attacks.
That's golems. That's golems.
That's golems, baby.
This just in. Throm is a magical beast.
Oh, magical
not a magical
beast,
life
not a
form.
magical life form. I mean, it's still an 1822. I think it's okay stat wise.
So I think this card kind of reveals that you're gonna have two ways to play this ruler. You can either go the white direction and just never plan on judgmenting her, or you can play the more Cthulhu-based direction.
Yeah.
In my head, that's kind of where it's going, and this is kind of the main impetus for that. So
In a world,
you're either going control or you're going aggro.
in an interesting world, Lunar. Oh no, they set it up correctly. Okay, I was going to say you could do this like infinite attacks kind of thing with this, but if it gains protect, it can't attack. So good job, I Spy. Not have a mana sink for 1,000,000 attacks for this thing. Appreciate that.
They did it. No more million attack 2/10s.
Yeah, no more 1,000,000 attack 2/10s. We got 2 more of her super
I'm gonna
rares.
poke you to death.
Then we have Lunar Royal Guard of the Crescent Moon. 2-drop Golem Magic Life for Moon Technology. Drain and Bane 6/6. Resident Light Magic Stone. Put X +1/+1 counters on this card, where X is the number of entities you control with a Magic Stone type. Resonance Darkness Magic Stone. Put Y -1/-1 counters on Resonators you're on a target, or Y is the number of Magic Stones your opponent controls without a Magic Stone type, multiplied by 2. And then Lunar Duty is essentially reanimate. If you control a Moon Princess, put this card from your graveyard into the field. Play this ability only 1 per turn, and only if this card's in your graveyard. The key instance difference between this and Call of the Monarch is that this card doesn't care. 1, doesn't come into play rested, and 2, doesn't care when you do it. It's any point in time. So it's actually a beefed up Call of the Monarch. Call of the Monarch is locked to main phase. This card is absolutely not.
Ooh.
So this is just...
Ooh, that's dirty.
Lunar Duty is actually just better. Like, it's a better will sync than it.
And fun story, if my calculations do be correct.
Go ahead.
My calculations are completely and utterly incorrect.
Perfect. Moving on. We have
Oh.
Lunar... the other half is Lunar Royal Guard of Waning Moon.
Wait, whoa. There's no way there isn't already a Kaguya ruler. No, there's one Kaguya ruler that can actually make use of this. And it's the backside of K3. K4, sorry. K4.
K4?
K4.
The treasury item K4?
The treasury item. She's a moon princess.
That's so funny. Anyway, then we have the Guard of the Waning Moon, 6/6 Protect Barrier. Resonance for light magic stones. You gain life, where X is the number of entities you control with a magic stone type, multiplied by 2. And then darkness magic stone resonance. Your opponent loses Y100 life, where Y is the number of magic stones your opponent controls without a magic stone type, multiplied by 2. So this is like things like Moonshade, Pure Heart, like anything that's not a basic stone or one of the original 2 cycles of dual stones. Will get hit by this card. That's just an important distinction, right? The other things like Spirit Stone, we have like weird single stones over the course of time that like have a single magic stone type. Like Spirit Stone wouldn't count for this. Things that actually say treat this card as, or this card gains this as a magic stone type, would dodge this. And then it has Lunar Duty for 1 black or 1 boon. Paul, what do you think about the twin guardians here?
I am really interested to... I'm wondering if there's a way to remove Protect, potentially.
Okay.
because the fact that this thing has barrier makes me makes me interested to see, like, is there a way I can like make a whole bunch of magic stones come into the field, and so thus like triggering this resonance and then eventually just attack. I'm curious about that. Um, but it seems like maybe Royal Guard, the Crescent Moon Guard, is meant to be the attacker,
Yeah.
while the Waning Moon is supposed to be kind of like the long game, more like control-y card,
Yep.
which I think is a really interesting. I mean, because when you look at the cards, they're kind of like polar opposites of one another, right?
Yeah.
So it's interesting to me that they're kind of going with that design. I'm thinking of specifically the Alhamat stone and how that was utilized with Alhamat. Would be really interesting to see this come out for that.
Yeah, for sure. Nice playing Alhamat stones, original Heaven's Rifts, so you get like both resonance triggers. It's really unfortunate that both of the Black Moon, White Moon stones don't count as having a magic stone type. It's a little unfortunate.
That feels incorrect.
Yeah,
You know?
but I mean, like, we can't retcon cards from a bunch of years ago that haven't been banned by the reworking protocol.
So
Go for it.
here's my mission to everyone out there in the world.
Lay it on us.
You're gonna flip your K4.
Got it.
You're gonna have a bunch of these dudes in the grave.
Understandable.
You're playing Light and Darkness Stone K4
Got
because
it.
you are a psychopath.
Yep.
You're gonna lunar duty these guys on your opponent's turn.
Well, you can
Tap
only do
your
one.
Kage for stone, which is
Dumb. Okay, continue.
dumb.
Don't do it.
And then you just and then you get the stone and you do an effect. That's all I got.
It's specifically true and special are not considered a type. They are like a race. It specifically has to be like this card counts as a wind magic stone. So it will be very narrow window of how many stones these are having. So if you get greedy with your stone bases, these guys could drain you to death pretty fast. Especially if you have multiple. Like, imagine if I reanimate one, the next turn I reanimate another one, the next turn I reanimate another one, and you've got 5 stones that don't have a magic stone type, and I'm like, cool, I hit a darkness stone. Take 40.
Start playing your OG duels.
Right. So
No more foreseeing for you, jerk.
yeah, the first sea stones also wouldn't count. Yep.
These are both supers. Oh my
Yeah, they're both
gosh.
supers. Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Next up, gosh darn it, XSplit's doing the thing.
No,
Okay,
not XSplit doing
it's
the thing
okay.
again.
It's okay. We can just do it the jank way. So that was the end of Alex's stuff that we've seen so far. Next up, we have Mi Sung. Emma's Magic Stone Research Institute would be, yeah. This card gains the following
It's
abilities.
Melody 2.0. Let's go.
Melody, essentially, it's Melody 2.0.
Yep. Let's go. Now blue is
There's
the
a reason I
only
like this ruler.
gimmicks.
Yeah, I knew that. Yeah, it's Melody 2.0, but it carries through to past the end of the turn. So as you generate mantra, it does different stuff. If you have 2 or more mantra on it, you can pay 1 white to search your deck for a martial art chant, reveal it, put it into your hand. Only once per turn. It gets to judgment at 3 or more mantra. Solo mode, martial art chant spells you control cannot be targeted, which means they are going to resolve outside of trying to discount them and getting them used. At the beginning of the game, search your deck for a card named the Song of the Six Beliefs and play it without paying its cost. Then shuffle your deck, and you can pay 1 white to destroy target addition or regalia. So that's what he does.
That's such a Giga Chad line of text. That's the most Giga Chad line of text I've ever seen on a ruler. That's so funny.
Yeah, and then so his flip side is when he flips over to the other side, he flips over into a 8/8 with when you get to 4 mantra, he has eternal and imperishable. When you get to 5 mantra, you gain, if more than 900 damage would be dealt to you, 900 damage is dealt to you instead. And on solo mode, he has God's Art, of the End. This card gains. Attacking does not cause this card to rest. This card can attack up to 6 times during your main phase until end of turn. Play this ability only if the combined number of instances of mantra on J rulers you control is 6. So you get to the end of the song, and then you murder everybody.
You have to ask, what's a mantra? I don't know, man. What's a mantra with you?
Oh my god. Oh my god. So
The most muppety joke.
it's so bad. Let's talk about these songs. Let's talk about these
Okay,
songs.
I'll do the poses along with them.
Thank you
And
for-
just very, very important, everyone. If you are playing these songs, you must do this pose. Stand up in your chair and do this pose at your tournament. Anyway, here's the first one.
There you go. Thank you. I expect you to maintain
Got it.
it this entire time. So this is
Okay, cool.
Song of the Six Beliefs. This is the one you get to cast for free in solo mode. Choose one. Search your deck for a martial arts chant with total cost X, where X is the combined number of instances of mantra on jailers you control +1, and play it without paying its cost. Then shuffle your deck. If the combined number of instances of mantra your J rulers you control is 0, J rulers with Misung in their name gain 1 instance of mantra. Then search your deck for a Taoist card with Master in its name and put it into the field and shuffle your deck. So if you're at 0 mantra, this card gets you to 1 mantra and then gets you Taoist, Master Taoist. So that's number 1. And if you're already at 1, then you can search for a 1 or more, then you can search to like find the next one and cast it without paying its cost. So it just, again, just consistency pieces for him. And that, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go to the second song so that I can get Mike to sit down, because I'm not going to torture him because I'm not a terrible person.
These
Next up,
steps are so long. I hate this.
next up we have the So Hum, which is quick cast and remnants. You pay X to play this card, X less to play this card, where X is the combined number of instances of mantra on J rulers you control. So when you're at mantra 1, this becomes a 1-drop. If the combined number of instances of mantra on J rulers you control is 1, J rulers with Misung in their name gain 1 instance of mantra until end of game. Then put a 400/400 light monk Taoist resonator token into the field. And now we're gonna move on. Mike, you can sit down.
No. Go over the rest of them.
We don't have the rest of them. Those are the only ones we have. We only have 2.
Didn't we just get a bunch of them revealed tonight?
Yeah.
Did we get another one revealed? Do we have number 3?
I think we have 4.
We have 3. Okay. Nope. Remove. Nobody saw that. Nobody talk about that one for a second. Hold on.
That one was revealed though, wasn't it?
The 2
Am I going crazy?
the 2 mantra one was revealed. I hate the artwork of these cards.
No, the four one was revealed. The 4 one was revealed today, right? Along with the ritualist?
Yes.
They're on the Forceful page. I'm doing the
Om
poses.
Tayada.
Hold on. I'm going over to the page.
Om Tayada Bekanze. If anyone
This is
actually
why
does
this was the one thing I didn't want to have happen. Gosh dang it.
Misung's the best ruler. Misung make Jeremy angry. Misung's the best ruler.
This is the one thing I didn't want to have happen. Ah! This was the one.
All right, let me know when you're ready.
Hold on. Gosh dang it. The 4-drop. Okay, the 4-drop is the one.
4-drop you got.
Okay,
It's Tayada Bekanze.
let me make sure.
That's the
Okay, got
the
it.
M
Here
in
we
the
go.
YMCA.
Here we go. I got it. Gosh dang it. I'm so mad. Nobody talk about it. Shush. You'll see it tomorrow. Shush.
How
Tayada
does his arms
Bekanze.
do that?
So 4-drop. 4-drop quick cast remnant. You pay where it's just cheaper. The combined number of. Oh no, this is the one that I showed. Is it?
It is, but there's another one.
Anyway, the combined number of instances of mantra is 3. J rulers with Misung in their name gain 1 instance of mantra. Then you gain damage would be dealt to you or an entity you control. Prevent
Let's go.
Y100 of it, where Y is the number of Taoist entities you control until end of game. Okay. So did I actually?
Nagasaki-san, I don't know where these arms are supposed to go on. My arms don't bend the way that me sucks.
I did so hum.
Oh, my arms just not big enough, Paul.
Just put them on your hips like an anime character, man. That's all you do.
Yeah, I know they're on my hips. But
Okay. So I didn't. Okay, great. So I didn't show something that hadn't been spoiled yet. Okay, got it.
No, you've only shown the spoiled ones.
I was like, okay.
Just remember, everybody in chat, Jeremy has stuff and he's not showing it to you. Anyway.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
I'm just like, I hate the pose.
I got one more pose.
Here's the pose. Here we go. Okay. Great. We haven't seen 5 or 6. You're good. Okay, got it. Mani Padme Hum. You paid less if your combined number is 2. They gain 1, then draw Y cards where Y is 4, minus the number of cards in your hand. Okay.
Well, that was a quick one, actually. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's just a draw power card. I think I did a really good job of making this like back and forth. I think just as a suite, right? They did a very good job of making them like quick cast, non-quick cast, quick cast, non-quick cast. So like if you do like sculpt the hand well and like have good draws, you can get to 6 very quickly, right? It's just a matter of like having them, because the only one that searches is the white one. So I think there's a weird thing to be said about like, do you play 4 of the beginning song and then maybe like 2 of each of the other ones, just so like if you see it in hand you have a second one to be able to get, because like I don't think you're playing full suites of all of them. There's no point. But you do want them to be consistent enough that you like have an opportunity to see them, to cast them. I don't know. Thoughts?
Jeremy, I'm going to be real. While I was doing the poses, I didn't hear a single line of text from these cards.
That's okay. It's okay. It's okay,
just
buddy.
for the comedy. I think like I think you're right. Ratios are definitely going to matter. Definitely you want to play at least 3 or 4 of your first stance. Your second stance, probably 3, because it's a draw power card, or more. And then the rest you maybe want to play a little less of. Yeah. The first, like, also Om So Hum has Remnant, so that's really helpful. So you will always have a way of just starting off.
Yeah.
In gaining your mantra, which is helpful. But yeah.
Yeah, and Paul will bring this to you. We'll bring a match for this deck right away. It'll be the first one. Paul's already told us. He's like, this is my deck, so I'm gonna let him have it.
And very importantly, Paul, very importantly, if you're not posing with each of these, just not playing the deck right.
There you go. You heard it here.
I'm very excited for the deck list too, where people will just. I'm just going to glint of insight, and I'm going to say, yeah, that Ohm spell. You'll be like, idiot, you fool, you absolute imbecile.
Which one?
Yeah, and we did get.
If I had to cosplay, I would probably be cosplaying this boy.
Yeah. We just got to go Super Saiyan first. But yeah, I got you.
3 other cards that were spoiled. We have our Makoto Clothcorp's Disciple. 1-drop 2/4 with Protect. Gains Drain as long as you control a Taoist. J/Ruler. Gains +4/+2 and Flying as long as your life is higher than your opponent's. And you control the Taoist ruler with 2 or more instances of mantra. 1-drop 6/6 flyer.
That's on curve, apparently.
Yeah, apparently.
This is a Taoist, and you're going to be searching this out after you play your first Ohm.
Is that X cost for the colorless will or the normal will? For the colorless will. You can't ever. It would specifically say you would pay white less. It would say you would pay white less.
You can't X discount actual will cost.
Next up, we have Makoto Clothcorp's Master. So this is the one that everyone's talking. The one that you would get. as like your beginning of the game, essentially.
Guy. Seems cool.
Eternal 0/4 cannot be banished. Tap, choose one, choose an attribute. Target J/Resonator gains Eternal and Barrier of the chosen attribute until end of turn. Or target Resonator, J/Resonator gains Eternal and Barrier no attribute until the end of the turn. So essentially, if you're playing against a Void deck or a deck that's using Void spot removal, you still have a way to be able to protect yourself.
Robert Greene, I understood that reference. Thank you.
This guy's okay. I mean, like, it's very interesting. It's definitely a, like, call your shot kind of a thing, or, like, very reactionary. The fact that he naturally has Eternal is a big help. And that he
I
doesn't...
also love the phrase, you cannot banish this card, as if saying cannot be banished doesn't mean the exact same thing, essentially.
Cannot banish this card.
You specifically. Your opponent can also not force you to banish this card.
It's got Eternal. It's here. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah,
if he
had protect, it'd be dumb as heck. That's fair, but he doesn't. So
yeah,
I don't know. This guy seems kind of like okay.
It feels very solid as like a sideboard card. Right?
I think you play it as a one of in the main deck because you're gonna get it when you're gaining your first master. Like, there's no reason to not. Like, he's gonna hit board, right? And if
anime has taught me anything, it's never ever underestimate a super ripped old man.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
In my head, his voice actor is just Master Roshi's voice actor.
Also true.
What's his face from Bleach is the one that comes to mind for me. The old guy.
Yamamoto.
Yeah.
Yamamoto. Yeah.
Last
Yamamoto.
Last card that we've seen is the Ritualist. At least in terms of from the official spoilers. 2-cost Monk Taoist 6/4. Untouchable, first strike, barrier, J/Resonator. Players gain as an additional cost to play a non-martial arts, non-resonator spell, pay 1, and as an additional cost to play an activate ability, pay 1, as long as you don't control a Wind/J ruler. Each turn, only 2 strong belief abilities you control are applied. So if you have 2 of these guys, both of them get applied. But if you get a third one out, a third one's not going to apply. Or if there's other strong beliefs, then you'll have to like pick which ones you want to do. And on enter, remove a target non-Taoist Resonator from the game. Now, I will say this.
That line of text, I can understand. That first one, that is the single clunkiest line of text I think I've read on Unforceable Card.
So here's the kicker. Here's the kicker with this line of text. In the nuance of the grand old CR, tapping a stone to produce will is technically an activate ability.
Mm-hmm.
So people are already...
Oh, it doesn't say non-will.
So people are already getting rules...
come on. We've done this before. We've played Barrier of Shadows. Or whatever the...
So people are getting... Whatever. So people are getting real rules. I mean, like, it's... So this is a little bit of a flub. That it very clearly is is supposed to be non-will. That being said, like, it could be that like the final file does say
machine broken.
It probably, or there's some kind of, there's a world where I've also talked about the world that the CR could be updated so that will abilities aren't considered being played, right? So then like you get around that. But under current CR and current text, obviously intent is that this card is not supposed to lock us to not being able to play stones. That would be the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. Very clearly not intended. We won't be playing it that way. It's sure to come out of the CR. But yeah, that's funny.
Proof reading machine broken. Come again another day, I guess.
Yeah. It is. Yeah, it's missing non-will.
I somehow did not see this card, and I love him. He's
I mean, like, anything that, again, this is a great example of like primary well-designed bi-directional floodgates, right? Because like Makoto, if Misung slams this card, Misung has to rely on his archetype in order for this floodgate to not also hurt him immensely, right? and so like that to me is a great design, especially with something that feels like it's such an archetypal kind of card. Like it just feels right to me.
Can I just say real quick? The phrase "as long as you don't control a wind J roller" is the most force of will line of text. Like that's like a shitpost level force of will line of text.
I mean, we've had it on a few cards already this set, so
yeah, I realize that, but that's literally the funniest line of text in the context of playing force of will for how many years I've played this.
Mirror mirror as well. Like don't control the wind roller. Cool bonus. Stop.
Do not wind. Do not wind.
Do not wind.
Yeah, we know we're force of wind. Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
force of water right
we
now. I don't know what you're talking about. We are force of water.
Force of
listen.
Force of moisture.
Force of moist.
So we have
Force of moist.
we have 4 other cards that got spoiled from our friends.
Oh, I haven't seen these yet.
These are our
live reacts.
These are from our friends over in China. I gotta make sure I remember exactly which ones these were. Gotta find them
before the tournament report actually gets published. I am so sorry to all of our Chinese players. I am really bad at reading Chinese. I will do better.
Listen, man. After living with somebody who studied multiple languages, one of them being Chinese, don't beat yourself up too bad. There's different ways to pronounce a name based on which way the accent is going over. Yeah. It's wild to me, but also kind of.
I'll give myself a little bit of grace. Also, in before it gets published. Love you guys.
Yeah. So first up, we have irrefutable evidence. 1 cost chance, gains quick cast as long as it's revealed in your deck. Gain a water clue. If you control 9 or less water clues, or 9 or less clues, draw a card. If you control 10 or more, draw 2 cards instead. If you control 15 or more, draw 2 cards and shuffle this card into your deck as it resolves instead. So
this card, that line of text is so backwards. That's so backwards. It should just shuffle itself back into the deck no matter what. Because, like, aren't you trying to shuffle it back in to get to the clues, to get to the 15, to get the thing? I feel like once you're at 15, the second part just doesn't matter anymore. Am I weird to say that?
Yeah, I do feel like you could shift the shuffle into the 9 or less, right? And then you could bump it up to be like 9 or less, draw a card, shuffle in, 10 or less, draw 2, 15 or more, gain an extra clue. Like you gain a 3rd clue, right? Like draw 2 plus gain a clue again. Like it could have just reversed it. But I mean, overall, this is probably going to be a pretty standard for Zaki, just because she's going to be revealing it constantly.
It's a cantrip.
It's a cantrip that can be instant speed for her. And so you just like want stuff that you can just like off the cuff cast when it's revealed by investigate, and this feels like exactly that.
I think this card is telling you how to play the deck. So the idea that you are casting this and it's going to your graveyard is really helpful. Because then you can like recycle it back in with something like Horn if you need to.
True.
But as you gain more clues, you're not trying to gain clues after a certain point. You're trying to find the thing that's going to let you win the game, right?
Sure.
So I think it's trying to teach you how to play the deck. And this card going back into the deck every single time actually makes it harder for you to find the thing that you need. So I think it's fine. I think it's well designed. I think it when it goes back into the deck, you trying to draw 2 more cards is just you trying to end the game at that point.
That's
true.
Know,
I will defer to our resident blue expert here. I think that Paul's right, and I have no evidence to back that up, but I'm going to stick to that.
I like it. Next up, we have a Zaki card. This was Skulk's Mechanic, our cracked out dog. 1-drop 4/4 Werefox. Tap, choose 1. If the weather is polluted, you may choose 2 instead.
Is a fox.
Yeah, I don't know how he's a fox, but there he is. Hey, we got all types in this crew. So first, you're gonna tap and choose 1. If the weather's pollution, you can choose 2 instead.
Oh my God, is that the voice of Bianchi? Jeremy DMO73 Franklin?
You gotta search
DMO73?
Yeah, I told them to credit me as DMO73. It's fine.
Really?
Yeah,
Why?
yeah, felt right. Search your deck for a card named Spiky Tires. Reveal it, put it into your hand. Then shuffle your deck. Card games
Shuffle
on
your dick.
Shuffle your deck. And then the second mode is put target automaton card, gears card, or machine card from your graveyard into your hand. There you go.
So we should just mix them all together as robots.
Rubbits.
Put target robot from your graveyard.
Is it any kind of robot? Yes. Put it in your hand.
Yeah. No, Jeremy, can you say robot in Bianca's voice real quick?
Think about it for a second. Robot. Robot. Gotta get those robots get those robots out of the graveyard.
If it doesn't work, it's crap. And if it works, it's also crap. That's the flavor text. I've never seen this game is rated what 7 plus 13. What is this game?
13 plus.
13 plus? That they said shit in that fucking.
I know. I said it.
I know. Yeah, you read the script. It was in the script, dude. They got away with their one PG-13.
That was
shit.
it. I got it.
They haven't done a fuck yet, though. They're saving the fuck for when I get to voice act.
Is this just straight out of Dora Hedoro? Because this thing.
Yeah,
looks
this is
very
literally
iconic.
a Dora, hey, 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 Dora, hey.
Okay. Anyway, next up we have a Hanada card.
Cracked out
This
fucking
is a
dog.
Goliath card. It's the Goliath expel card. You may expel a wind card in your hand rather than pay this card's cost if it's not your turn. Target any number of J/resonators you control with different total costs. They gain barrier until end of turn. Perform the following process to each chosen target, adding a +1/+1 counter each time. After the first, put a +1 on chosen target. You didn't already choose one, then 2 counters, then 3 counters, then 4 counters. So if you buy a bunch of different stuff, you get to protect your board and pump everybody up.
Card is very.
Aha!
I saw a good amount of people who hate trials love this card in the Discord. That's true. This doesn't have any kind of requirements for any kind of ruler requirements. You can use this in a wind ruler and not a wind ruler. So being able to protect your own stuff, although it's only not if it's not your turn, and trials wants to be killing stuff during your turn with Seer. So I don't know how great that is.
Why does this board meeting have why are they all celebrating new instructions? I feel like they're really just going at it. Yeah, man, very excited. I also love just the general techno babble in the back, just stonks, man. Here we
There you go.
Tri-wing support. Oh,
Expel a dry wing. Expel a dry wing from your hand to use this card.
disgusting.
I hate that. Wow.
Listen, we've already been able.
This card is very good. This card is very, very, very good for if you are a win deck. This card is very good. Done. I love this card. I want 8 of it.
Well, you can only play 4, but I'll make sure that you own 8 copies.
Just play it,
yeah.
Paul. Who's gonna stop you?
4 in one deck and then 4 in another deck.
Perfect. And then we have one more.
You are a member of Ruler School. You can put however many you want in here. This is your sort of progression. You can do whatever you want.
Doesn't this wind chant help the Falchion combo more? Yes, but I think many of us are already expecting that Falchion, that Spirit of Calmness, is probably getting the axe to prevent the Falchion combo stuff.
Whoa.
At least Spirit of Calm. We've talked about this before, but Spirit of Calmness is one of the easiest possible reworking protocol hits. To just say we never intended for this card to work outside of Reflect and Refrain. Let us change its ability to only work if you actually own Calmness. Takes 2 seconds. Not a hard rework. Very simple. Last card we have is Mina Harker. Mina Harker, the heroic vampire huntress, who is a hero which is a very big, important thing, and Vampire. First strike Bane, she has Hunting the Dark. This card gains Quick Cast, Barrier, and if a Darkness Resonator would be put into the field, its controller expels it instead. This card loses and then the cost of the bottom ability is losing Hunting the Dark, gaining Vampiric Thirst, pay 1 black. So that's all part of the cost to use this bottom effect. Target a J/Resonator you control, search your deck for and or hand for a card named Bloodsucking Impulse and play it without
Jeremy,
paying its cost.
I don't think that's right. Because the Vampiric Thirst is in
Just
quotes.
finish the effect. Just finish the
Yeah, finish the effect. We'll just discuss this afterwards.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Target a J/Resonator your opponent controls, search your deck and or hand for a card named Bloodsucking Impulse and play it without paying its cost, choosing this card in the chosen target. If you search your deck, shuffle it, play only 1 Vampiric Thirst ability per turn, as long as you control a J ruler with Alucard or Dracula in its name.
So it's a activate ability inside of a replacement effect.
Yeah. Vampiric Thirst is the cost, but you gain this entire ability only if you control.
Oh, sure. Okay, now I understand. I saw where I missaw where the quotations were. So if you're playing Alucard or Dracula, it's a vampire, not a hunter. Got it. I misread where the start of the quotation is.
Yeah. This should probably read if your J/ruler is Alucard or Dracula, this card loses Hunting in the Dark and gains the following effect. Like probably
this is very flavorful card effect, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is kind of sick.
She's also
Jeremy, you want I can't to expel Jeremy's entire life with this card.
First, important to note, this card being a hero means that we have a new reasonable target to utilize Flash from behind for, which I will point out is a Mastery Hero -20 draw a card spot removal spell.
And it's in darkness already, so like even if you don't have Mina Harker on board, it's just got him.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the Flash from behind is incredibly powerful. It's always been something that if you can master a Flash from behind, you can get some insane value out of it. And so this is another hero that gets to use that. Oh yeah, Jeff. Thanks, Jeff.
Interesting.
That makes a lot of sense. It would make
English is a fucked up language, my man.
It would make sense in the context of understanding how this card reads, to just put it first in general. So does she has Quick Cast in hand if we are playing Alucard/Dracula?
I think that only applies if she's on board.
I believe so. I think it's the continuous ability of this card gains only while she's on field. So I believe she has.
The fact that any of this
Cast.
exists in general is stupid. Like, that part's stupid. The way it's worded is kind of stupid. But it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. Because the CR will fix everything. The CR really is just holding this whole game up with, like, bubble gum and little pieces of string and, like, duct tape. Just really, here we go.
I agree.
Thanks, Chia.
Some decks are entirely supported by the CR at this point.
That's true. That's fair.
So in my head, the way this is intended is if you have Alucard or Dracula, this card doesn't have Quick Cast. If you don't have Alucard/Dracula, it does have Quick Cast, Barrier Black, and the following continuous effect, right? In my head, that's
very
how it's supposed
interesting
to be.
thing too. Very interesting as well. A very interesting fact. She sees herself with her first effect. So no matter what, if you're hunting the dark, she expels herself the moment she's gone. I'm pretty sure.
No, I don't think so. The continuous ability, the continuous ability would start to apply once she's hit field. She's not applying because.
But if she's on fields,
she would have already hit the field, so she wouldn't see herself and get expelled instead as a replacement effect instead of hitting the field. It's a replacement effect.
You know what? I should really read cards because I read field as graveyard.
Ooh,
Okay.
And on that note,
Those are very different words.
And on that
Those
note,
are very different places.
I thought it was like a thing where it's like when I thought it was a Lumia's barrier, but it expels instead. That would be cool. But no, it's just
Jeremy,
different.
we do have
we
one card.
we got to wrap this up.
We do
We
have
gotta
one.
wrap this up. Mike is getting drunk.
Yeah, we do have one card that I have
Already
left
finished
to
too, it's
share.
fine. All right.
We do have one card left to share. The French version of the pre-release promo, Lunar Oxidant Fire Scarabs has been shown. I'm gonna double check real quick exactly where it was shown because it was the French version. Because at this point we've only seen the artwork for it.
It's just a scare beetle with a little mustache and beret and holding a baguette.
In the Forcible TCG spoiled card server, it gives you the full text.
Yeah. Yep. I'm just trying to pull
So
up.
It's been a long day, everyone. Give me a break. I can't read any card. I don't even know what any of the mantras do. I posed, and
Okay.
that's their effect in my mind.
Okay. So I have
7 p.m. California time. Mike is done.
So it's here.
It's too late,
been-
man.
Where was this exactly spoiled from? It was I know where it was. I just don't remember
France.
how France did it. I just don't remember where they spoiled it. Regardless, here's what I'm gonna
They
do.
spoiled it in France, Jeremy.
It's Thank you, Mike.
Got you, bud.
So it's in Forcible France on their page. Okay, cool. So so what I'll do here is I'll do this. Find it. I'll do this. Since it's been published on an official place and just hasn't come up elsewhere here, we have Lunar Oxidizer Fire Scarab. Here's the English for everybody. So this is the promo version of it. 2-cost bug magic life form moon technology. 1 red, 1 white. 5/3 with quick cast flying, pierce, and barrier. This card gains +4/+2 for each regalia, automaton, and machine card or gears card in your opponent's graveyard. Enter, destroy target regalia, automaton entity, machine entity, or gears entity. That doesn't say non-magic stone.
Oh.
So just keep that in mind. And on solo
Cool.
mode, it has an enter effect of target a sub-ruler with 1 or more attributes and cannot target sub-ruler with 1 or more attributes loses and cannot gain any non-will abilities in all zones as long as this card is in the field. Players cannot chase to this ability. I heard you don't like dealing with trials. Ta-da!
Or T friends.
Or Electra.
Bye.
It really Forcible really just is coming after Steven Jeswine right
I mean,
now, man. I don't
you
know.
could target one of her sub-rulers. I don't think she'd care.
Yeah, it's fine. As I know.
If Abdul
Absolutely.
if
No more
Abdul
shenanigans.
if Abdul flips fast enough, yeah, he won't care about this because it won't have an enter effect. But Abdul has to flip fast enough. That's a key point. And then we could see a shift to 2-drop board wide spot removal being things that can mess with it with things like Flashing Smile or stuff like
Shazzy,
that.
you are so right. There's no reason for a red white card. There's no reason for the meme color pair to have a card art this good. This is really solid.
This artwork is pretty sick. It looks very sick. The solo mode counts sub rulers. Solo mode does not count sub rulers because they are not rulers. They are sub
They're
rulers.
sub-rulers. Whoa,
Moon
crazy.
Name.
Moon, Sun, Children are
Know the
rulers.
difference, said I spy,
They are-
of making more different kinds of rulers for you to worry about.
This is a very good sideboard card for sure. This is a very good sideboard card for sure. This is like up there with like 2 friends, and it's a super rare, which means it probably has a freaking uber rare version. So now we just gotta see what they
but
like.
this
But this is the promo
but this
art,
card
right? So now we
doesn't-
got to see what the non-promo art looks like to see if the non-promo art looks good in Uber.
So
this
here's my
is
theory.
bugs though.
I'm listening.
Here's my here's
Not
my
to Mike. I'm
conspiracy
not listening to
theory.
Mike. I'm listening to you, Paul.
I know.
Um,
Go ahead.
I think this is the hand of Violet. Potentially.
Go
That's
on.
so dark. Continue.
So last time we saw Violet, She was with Little Maria. Yeah.
No.
And she was.
Oh,
She was.
no.
I thought she was with Little Maria.
Last time we saw Violet, she was at the Game of the Gods.
Yeah, with Little Maria. She was a resonator.
Okay,
She was
continue.
a tail.
Continue.
And they were she was intended to be a Nyarlathotep resonator or something. She was a red tails resonator.
Sure.
And so knowing that scarabs often associated with Egypt, Isis associated with Nyarlathotep,
Cthulhu's with the
moons,
Sacred Ruins.
Cthulhu's Sacred Ruins, moon technology. Something's going on here. And I think this is the hand of Violet coming back from a something somewhere.
Oh, that's true. Violet was the T2. So that Violet was like the life form that like looked like Violet with Little Maria.
Oh, the fragment.
The fragment was with it looked like Violet with T2 and Little Maria. That wasn't Game of Gods.
Oh, I know you.
The last time we actually saw
I know you're
Violet
saying
was Game of
words.
Gods.
Oh, I know you were saying words, but I just kept thinking to myself, this name keeps coming up. Pepe Sylvia. It's got a box full of Pepe.
Cool stuff. Cool card.
That's my theory.
Nice sub-ruler hate,
Perfect.
which I think people will be excited
Nice
about.
tinfoil hat there, bud.
Sub-ruler hate in general has been something that people have been asking for, so it's glad to see that we get it and that it's good. So this is just a card that says like, listen, all you young whippersnappers with your sub-rulers and your tag rulers.
Back in my day,
we had one ruler.
Solo
like
mode.
I honestly like how the rollout of solo mode has been. It's felt very good. So I'm excited to see what more of the like generic solo mode style cards are that might see play outside of it. So yeah. And that's it for us. Again, as always, you can check out Odyssey Games down below to get your pre-orders for this set if you haven't already. This week we will be catching up on deck profiles and a primer on Lucy. We will also have an Utsunes versus Gandinia match coming out on Wednesday of this week, and deck profiles for that later this week. So thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, this has been myself, DMO73, and I've been joined, as always, by Mike Rance.
Get to pose when you play your Nisung decks.
And Paul Reisman.
That's it.
Class dismissed.
Perfect. Excellent win.